Hello students, welcome to the BSc class. In this video, we are going to discuss about the next topic, that is staffing process. In the last video, we have completed the meaning and importance of staffing. So students, before starting the process of staffing, I would like to remind you again that in each and every definition of the functions of management, I told you that every function involves a series of steps to be followed by the manager so that the organizational goals can be achieved. Okay, any function of the manager, whether it is planning, organizing, staffing, directing or controlling, is not a single activity. Okay, it involves so many activities, so many steps to be followed in sequence. That's why there is a process of each and every function so that that function can be performed properly. In the same way, staffing also involves a series of steps which we call the staffing process. One by one we will study every step in detail. So, we are starting with the first process, that is estimating manpower requirement. As we also know generally that if you want to appoint any people in your organization, if you, for example, if you have opened a new company or an organization, so firstly you have to identify that how many workers or employees you are going to require in the near future and what type of employees you are going to require in the near future. Only after that you can start selecting, searching or whatever the process is there in the staffing process. So first step is estimating manpower requirement. It means finding out the exact number of workers and the type of workers you are going to require in the near future. Number of workers, it is understood to you. What is the meaning of type of workers? Type means that the qualification, how much qualified peoples you are requiring, or how many male peoples, how many female peoples you are going to require in your organization. So it depends upon your decision that which type of workers you are going to require. So to complete this process, a manager or an organization has to follow three steps. First one is workload analysis, second is workforce analysis, and third one is comparison between both. Okay, first one is workload analysis. Workload means to find out that how many people you are going to require, exact number and exact type of employees you are going to require in your organization. What is the workload in your organization? As we have discussed in the organizing chapter, that in organizing a manager prepares an organizational structure. So on the basis of that organization structure, he will find that how many posts are vacant in the organization. For example, you need one HR manager, you need one accountant, one clerk, and so many people. Totally you require 10 people say in the organization. So that is known as workload analysis. Okay, how much workload you are having, for which how many people you require in your organization. After finding out the exact requirement of the workers, second step is workforce analysis. Workforce analysis refers to the existing or the present employees who are working in your organization if your organization is an old organization. Okay, if you are opening a new organization or it is your new company, so there is no need to do this analysis. As we know that it is a new company, there is no worker. Okay, only workload analysis will be there. But if your organization is already existing in the market, so you will also do analysis that how many people I am having at the present time. Then after this, after deciding workforce analysis, the third step is comparing both to find out requirements. For example, you have identified that I need 20 persons, 20 employees. Then in workforce, you identify that already I am having 10 workers. So the difference between this, 10 workers are in shortage in your organization. So with comparing with this step, you will able to know that I need to hire 10 more people for my organization. So it is the first step. Might be a question can come in your mind that ma'am, if It might be possible that we are having all the peoples, okay, exact number of peoples we are having, so there is no need to hire any person. So with this step, okay, with this step, in comparing, if you find that workload is greater than workforce, okay, workload, it means requirement is more than the existing number of people, then you are going to require more people. But if it is opposite, workforce is greater than workload, it means it is the condition of overstaffing. You need to reduce the number of employees from the organization because it will increases the cost of an organization. So in comparison, you will be able to identify whether you are having required number of people, you are, or there is understaffing or there is overstaffing in your organization. If there is understaffing, you are requiring to hire more people for your organization, the next process is recruitment. Okay, so students, what is recruitment? Recruitment refers to encouraging or stimulating, or we can say motivating different peoples to apply for the job or the vacant position in your organization, okay, with the help of advertisement in the newspaper, in the radios, or on social media. If you are searching the peoples, recruitment refers to searching the peoples and encouraging peoples by giving very much attractive advertisement in newspaper, so that more and more people will apply in your organization for that particular vacant job position. Okay, so recruitment here refers to searching, or we can say encouraging people, okay, encouraging peoples to apply, more and more people to apply for the vacant position in the organization. Third process, after in recruitment process, more and more people will apply, or for example, you have decided, you have given a performer in the newspaper that those people who are interested to join our organization have to fill that format and to have to post such format with the help of courier to particular address. Okay, so in this process, after this process, you will receive so many applications. More and more people are interested to join your organization. So the third process is selection. Okay, when you receive so many applications, for example, you require only 10 people to hire, but 100 people have applied for the same job. So you need to select from all these people who are best suitable for your organization. So that process is known as selection. Okay, so what is selection? Selection means to select the people who have applied, to select from among all the candidates who have applied for your organization for such vacant position. So in selection, what you will do? You will compare. Okay, you will compare that who is the person who is exactly matching or who is exactly fulfilling all the criteria. For example, you require a graduate person. The person should have a graduate degree. Okay, so you will decide that you will keep all the applications aside of those people who are graduate, and you will reject all the applications who are undergraduate because they are of no use. Okay, you want the graduate people. So in selection process, the applications are checked, the suitable candidates applications are kept aside, and rest of the applications which are not fulfilling the criteria are rejected. Okay, many times it happens that the number of rejected applicants is more than the number of selected. For example, 100 people ने अप्लाई किया, लेकिन 100 में से सिर्फ 40 people ऐसे थे जिनके पास वो क्वालिफिकेशन थी जो आपने अपने एडवर्टीजमेंट में रिक्वायरमेंट डाली थी. ठीक है, तो आपने 40 सेलेक्ट की और 60 को रिजेक्ट कर दिया. इट मीन्स number of rejected candidates are more than the number of selected candidates. So that's why selection process is also known as a negative process. Okay, sometimes from the board point of view I am explaining this point. One more question is there, that why selection process is known as negative? Because sometimes it happens that the number of rejected candidates is more than the number of selected because they are not fulfilling the exact criteria required by the organization. So after selection, Okay, selection is a very wide process. We will study in the next video about the selection process. Selection is not also a single activity. You cannot say that you have keep aside the 40 list and 60 you have rejected. तो उन 40 को भी तो decide करना पड़ेगा. आपको तो सिर्फ जरूरत किसकी है? 10 की. तो जो लोग आपकी क्राइटेरिया को फुलफिल कर रहे हैं उनको फुलफिल करने के लिए भी एक पूरा प्रोसीजर होता है जो हम आगे स्टडी करेंगे. ओके, सो उनमें से बेस्ट कैंडिडेट सेलेक्ट करने के बाद, ठीक है, जो आपको चाहिए, द नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस इज प्लेसमेंट एंड ओरिएंटेशन. व्हाट इज प्लेसमेंट? प्लेसमेंट, आफ्टर सेलेक्टिंग दैट एम्प्लॉय, द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल ऑफर एन अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर टू दोज कैंडिडेट्स who are selected for the vacant job positions. They are placed, they are asked to occupy the position, the vacant position in the organization in this process. After placement, there is orientation. Orientation here refers to the process of introducing the employees with the existing employees who are working in the organization. If your organization is old, okay, if you are having 10 employees, okay, and one employee has been appointed in as a new employee, you will introduce that new employee with all the old employees and will take a round for saying the complete organization that it is our manager cabin, it is our HR department cabin. So you will introduce that new employee with your organization so that he will be, or he or she will be familiar with your organization. Okay, after introducing, fifth process is training and development. What is training and development? As we can say that every person is not so much perfect. Okay, a manager needs to train all the employees time by time. An organization always try to improve the skills of their employees so that they can learn something new and they can improve their skills and creativity. So after selecting, after placement of the employee, after introducing, training and development programs are also arranged for the employees so that they can learn something new. Okay, training and development, here the word and is given, so it means these two words are something different with each other. This topic we will also study in detail in the next video. It is the last topic of the chapter in the last. Okay, so here training and development refers to the process where an organization provides training in the organization or by sending the employees some other places so that they can learn something new and improve their skills for the future as well as for the existing job. After training, this process is completed. As I have told you in the last video that in large organizations there is a separate department for performing this function, staffing, which is known as HR department, human resource, or we can say human resource management department. Okay, so they perform all the processes related to the staffing. But in small organizations which are not having so much capital to invest, they are not having different HR department to perform all the processes, so they have to perform 3 more functions under staffing process. Three main processes. Okay, in large organizations only 5 functions or 5 processes are there, but in small organizations 3 more processes. 6th one is performance appraisal. Okay, if you have given the training and development program training to your employees, you cannot be very much free, you cannot be very much sure that yes, your workers are performing very well. Okay, then the performance of the employees need to be evaluated on the regular basis. Is it true? आपको एक काम दिया गया है, आपको काम सिखा दिया गया है, तो क्या आप आराम से बैठ सकते हो एज अ मैनेजर कि मैंने काम सिखा दिया, मेरा एम्प्लॉय अच्छे से वर्क कर रहा होगा? ओके, I cannot be very much sure. Okay, so performance appraisal refers to the process of regularly checking the performance or evaluating the performance of the employees on the regular basis. On the basis of this performance appraisal, the manager will prepare a feedback report. Okay, a feedback report for the performance of the employees so that they can inform their top level managers that how the employees are performing. After evaluating the performance and after preparing the feedback report, next process is promotion and career planning. Okay, promotion and career planning, if the performance of the employee is very much good. Okay, as I have told you, staffing is a very wide process. It is not It not involves only appointing the peoples. बहुत सारे processes हैं. अब देखिए, जॉब पर रखने के बाद, जॉब को इवेल्युएट करने के बाद, what is there? Promotion and career planning. Okay, you can promote that particular employee who is performing very good in your organization to some topmost authority. Okay, to the next level, next top level of your organization, which will give them motivation and boost up the morale of the employees, that we should perform better so that we can also be promoted. And career planning, they will also provide some future options which will be helpful in the future for that particular person. Okay, if they are performing well, if their feedback report is very good, after preparing feedback report only there is promotion and career planning. Okay, next process is compensation. What is compensation? What is the meaning? We can say it refers to the price of the job. Okay, the job which a person is performing and the price you are paying, the amount you are paying for such job is known as compensation. If a person is performing very well in your organization, you need to compensate them for such positive feedback. So how can you compensate? An organization can compensate an employee directly and indirectly with the help of direct payments and indirect payments. Okay, direct payments refers to the wages, salaries, or any amount which is paying, which an organization is paying to the employees directly. Okay, an employee is receiving directly the benefit of which amount is received by the employee directly. That is known as direct payment for the good performance of that employee. What is indirect payment? Indirect payment refers to such like we can say insurance, okay, free medical facilities, free house rent facilities. These are the indirect payments which are still benefiting the employees but not directly. They are not receiving any amount directly, but still they are benefited with that facility. So it depends upon the manager, it depends upon the performance of the workers, that in which way an organization wants to compensate that employee, okay, for the betterment of their future or the betterment of their performance. Here I would like to tell you that direct payment is also classified into two parts: time based payment and performance based payment. What is time based? Time based refers to that, for example, an organization is saying that we will pay you extra salary weekly or monthly or yearly, which is depend upon the time. Okay, is it clear? Now performance based refers to that you have performed very well or you have produced 100 units more, so we will pay you 10 rupees per unit. So 100 into 10 you will receive 1000 units, and in future also if you produce more, okay, we will pay you 50 rupees per unit. So it is based upon the performance, on the number of units or any criteria which has been set by the organization. So if the payment or compensation is based upon the performance on a particular work, it is known as performance based. But if it is fixed based upon the time, weekly, monthly or per day, that is known as time based. It depends upon the work, qualification or decision of the management and qualification and skills of the worker. So in this way we have completed the complete process of staffing. Please remember it carefully that if there is a large organization, the processes are fine, okay, and you have to be clear in the answer. If from the board point of view there is a question, you need to write these points also, that if there is a small organization, 3 more processes are there. In the next video we will study the next topic, that is selection recruitment processes. Thank you.